What's up, my fellow gamers? This is the Anima of Gaming here, bringing you another video. And today we want to talk about DLC. Now, DLC has been around since the beginning of the Xbox 360 and PS3, and then started to go into the PC market. Now, there's good DLC, there's bad DLC, and then there's the ugly. But besides that one, there's also season passes that came with games. Certain games that was gonna release different DLC content, but you want to buy all of it in one time without buying separately, you get to have the season pass. And if you don't want that season pass and you just want to buy DLC individually, you just buy it like that. Though having a season pass is a bit cheaper than buying DLC individually. Some games that do have, not all games have season passes. I mean, the concept has been, I think, started. I think I think it started with Borderlands 2 because it had a lot of DLC that's being released. This, so there's that. Also, PC games like Solaris have new content DLC being released every month or a few months, and the game it gets updated once in a while, adding more content to it, which is pretty good. So it's the Borderlands 2 season pass. Even that game doesn't have a season pass. But the Borderlands 2 season pass had good content. Most of it's story-based content and story-based DLC. Some increase your level, others give you small things in there. Some DLC gives you a certain character, or a certain map. But then again, every game genre has different DLCs. For example, games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Call of Duty or Battlefield have map packs. Since mostly the game, even if the game does have a story campaign, most of the people who buy those games play multiplayer. Games including like Halo, it releases its map packs. Sometimes they release some guns, sometimes they release something else. Because since the zombie mode for Call of Duty is popular, people release maps based for zombie mode online. Games like Battlefield 1 release have map packs, but only have like several few maps and new guns in that stuff like that, which try to add a little bit more content to the game. Similar to Halo, 'cause I know the Halo franchise have different maps they release. Sometimes they release the same map, but up like optimized and the graphics upgraded. And sometimes the game companies release games that doesn't have much content on them, and then try to release games to add more content in. Similar to some games like Fallout 76 or Anthem, two ambitious games that released that's supposed to have a lot of content but didn't, and so they have to have a roadmap to add more content in. It's almost like you have a car, you have a crappy car, but over time you keep working on it, adding stuff in to make it into a better car. But then again, it's cost effective. You have to spend a lot of money for that car and stuff like that, and DLC. So that almost brings me back to the Creation Club, where people who made like for Bethesda who's trying to sell mods to people, well, or mini DLCs they want to call it, even though they waste. Well, I'm gonna get on the topic of Bethesda and Skyrim later, but there's like the Creation Club is releases mini DLC with heavy quotations to players that doesn't add that much, which only a modder can easily do with little time to add. Because compared to the modders and the Creation Club, the modders do a lot better job than what the Creation Club does. So there's that. And then indie devs release DLC for PC games. Games like Pillars of Eternity or what else? Well, For example, Pillars of Eternity. That game had some good DLC to it, and it was pretty enjoyable. But I know it's not all indie devs who release PC games have DLC because their games are good and it's mostly moddable, so the modders can do what they want with it. And then there's games that have good DLC, like The Witcher 3, who cares more about giving players good story-based content. Well, mostly Witcher 3 is mostly a heavily single-player game. And so the guys at CD Projekt Red, who built their reputation up, decided to release story-based content, and gamers today loves story-based content because you get to get more hours out of it. And not to mention, games like RPGs give you different choices to play on. And now there's also DLC on the disc, similar to like Mass Effect 3. It's like whenever they release a game that has a content finish, but it's on the disc, but you have to pay for it to unlock it, which is stupid because if it's done, then you shouldn't have to charge for it. Almost because content already on the disc, like Street Fighter at Cross Tekken. Angry Joe did a video about how did a rant about it that there was content that was already on the disc, and then it's locked off because you have to pay for it, which I don't know why. I mean, if it's already done, you should still release it. But then again, try adding more characters from those series onto the game. And then games like Street Fighter V, for example, have half a character roster, and then decide to have a character pack it has a small character roster, and decide to release a character pack to add more characters to the game, and then try to add us. Well, the game had half the content on it, so they decided to release the game as it is, and then wait years to add like a story mode to it, and month later content back on it for some apparent reason, which I don't know why they would do that. But then again, it's just trying to milk money out of people. And then the worst. I mean, there was also DLC that they cut from the game that they try to add back on for a little bit extra cash for people. Because I know there were, I think, a few other games that was cut from video games that they released, like games such as Assassin's Creed 2, because there was two sequences that you can't do, that you skip over unless you buy it. But it's already done and it's already in the game. But if you didn't buy it, you have to skip you mostly have to skip over it and get to the final mission, which is pretty stupid. If But then again, they're trying to make money off the players, which they could have just add real story game content. Similar games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it has a season pass, but they sometimes release free content after season pass DLC content, and they're update adding other free content onto the game, which is impressive. I think what was that, the Fate of the First Blade, and then Secrets of Atlantis, which is pretty nice. I mean, I've watched some gameplay on YouTube about it, and it's pretty impressive. Though Assassin's Creed Odyssey isn't the Assassin's Creed game that people wanted, they still add some content. So that's good for the developers. And then some season passes didn't give you much. Some games that online or offline, well, it's mostly toted towards online games, and then so they release content that only you can get on, only available on online games, when it's pretty not that much for it. And then there's worse DLC like Oblivion and the Horse Armor, which is because mostly the Horse Armor is stupid. I tried it. I think I got it for free on my PC. It didn't work. My horse died easily. It still died easily. I don't know why they released Horse Armor for a game that doesn't. Which horse armor doesn't do much. I mean, The Witcher 3 had better horse armor, and that works a lot better. sometimes developers give free release free DLC for players because try to add kind of. Some people do it just to be nice to their players. Some of them try to release just to give back some of their fan base. And then games like Dying Light 2 has a big expansion. Well, yeah, they release expansions to add onto it. The Dying Light the Following had a good big expansion, which was I played, which was pretty good. And well, does horse armor better, but then again, you drive a car. And then there's DLC that's worked on that's canceled because I heard a story from Borderlands, the pre-sequel, about one last DLC that was going to be released because they released two characters, and then I think the Claptrap DLC, and there was going to be one more, but I think they canceled it, which is stupid because people who buy season passes who expect all of it doesn't get that much. And then whenever DLC do release, it and people it's content people want and they don't get it because it lowers their expectations. I mean, there's also crappy like games like the new Fire Emblem games like Fire Emblem Awakening or Faith have map pack DLC, character DLC. I mean, they have a ton of Nintendo. Those games have a ton of DLC for them. I didn't buy all of it, any of it, because I'm not. I mean, pretty much like what over like close to like $100 to $50 on all. Well, mostly I can say 100. Just my prediction because I didn't see all of it. But yeah, I'm not gonna buy all of that DLC. And then there's the crappy the DLC that's crappy, which they release, which is stupid, but sometimes people buy. Then online DLC for like games such as Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto 5. Mostly all of its DLC is online based because I've seen a bunch of other uh, gaming YouTubers play them and well they have fun, but then again, people expect DLC like that to be story based, similar to Grand Theft Auto 4 and it's the Liberty City story, and then all the Liberty City DLC. So there's that, and the DLC like Destiny 1 and 2. Now I know they have the Taken King expansion, the Iron Lords, and then the freaking Forsaken, and then they have these other mini DLC that doesn't add much to it, just bounties, which they could have added like more content into the game. But then again, the game Destiny 1 season has finished, and I was dumb enough to buy the season pass. I mean, I haven't. I finished the first Destiny. I haven't got on the season pass for any of the DLC stuff. I mean, I was dumb enough to buy the season pass. I haven't played any of the DLC on it. The guidebook, which was a waste of money. I think it was somewhat collecting dust. And then so yeah, that's my thoughts. I mean, there's some good DLC, bad DLC, and then there's the DLC that's half-assed. So that's my thoughts. So if there's any DLC stories or season pass stories you want to tell me about, let me know in the comments below. If I skimmed or skipped over anything, let me know in the comment section. I'd like to hear your guys' feedback, and I'll see you guys later.